First things first, the set came with a couple of different layouts for these small bases. You have the ones that have an angle on them, and then the ones that are straight. For the most part, the straight ones are for the Skaven, and then the angled ones are for the High Elves. And you'll notice on both of them that one side from the slot will be larger than the other. So like on this one, the slot is offset to the left a little bit. And on here, you can see the angled slot is offset below the center. You can use that to your advantage when you start putting your units together. The one exception to this rule is the High Elf wizard here. He uses a flat base in order to be looking straight ahead. And then, of course, you also have the option of, if you want them to be offset, for example, the Skaven warlord here, he's not going to have to sit in a unit with other models. So, if you want him to be on an angle base, that's fine, whether they're designed for that or not. As long as they don't have to fit in together with other units, you'll be fine with that.
Okay guys, so I'm going to show you how the clan rats fit into their slots. So you have these little bases with a single slot. Because all of the clan rats have their arms on the right side, well, their right arm is up, I chose to put the wider side on the right side of the model. And the way that you fit them into the slot, they have these little runners along the bottom. Put one foot in, slide him forward, and then with your thumbnail, just kind of push him forward and then press him down with your other hand. And that puts him into the slot. Okay, so let me show you again. Okay, so place the front forward, and then with your thumb, press forward and push down with your other hand. And that puts him into the slot. Okay. And some of the models fit tighter than the others. We're going to glue all of ours, but if you did not want to glue them, make sure that when you remove them from the sprues that you don't file any of this down. Otherwise, they will be too loose in the base itself. Okay, so sometimes the bases come and they are not completely perfect. You can see right here that there's some extra plastic where it didn't, in the production phase, it wasn't completely smooth. You just take your file and just kind of file that away. Clean it up a little bit. Do the other side a little bit. And then your model will fit. Okay, so let me show you how to put the double slotted models together. This is the Poison Wind Mortar. I've already put him together. You can see he has 2 runners. Okay, and then I have my Warp Fire Thrower. And I find it easier to put the single little decorative slot piece in first. That way it doesn't get in the way, or your other model doesn't get in the way when you're trying to slide it in. So you just press it in, just like we did with the clan rats. And then make sure that when you put your actual model in that it's facing the same way. I mean, I guess you could put him the opposite way, but I'm going to place him the same way as my decorative rat here. Okay. So I find it easier to, rather than putting the whole slot in as we did with the clan rats, to kind of, loosely place it and then kind of press on both sides at the same time. That way you're not bending any pieces, you're not, warping this little runner here because it's longer and there are 2 figures attached to it. And then you just kind of press down firmly and then you have your model attached.
Alright, and here's what the Illyrian Reavers look like. When you get done with these guys, they have both pieces for their double base on the bottom, one for each half of the horse that gets stuck together. So you don't have a choice but to do both of these together at the same time. And I only had one that ended up like this, but this is a good example to show you. Sometimes you can see there that the bottom doesn't quite line up with the holes. So for that reason, what I have been doing with these guys is you just kind of get one in there a little bit and then kind of push the legs together to get the other one in. and you want to slot those two in like this so that you have one side in. And then you just kind of push them back and push the front in too. Just push down with your fingernail, or if your fingers are really big like mine, you may need to use a flat file like this. Just kind of stick it in there and push down. All right, and then once it's in there, you know, just make sure that all of the ends of it are pushed in as good as you can. Kind of line it up so that it's flat like that, and that's it. We didn't notice that these double bases here, they don't really seem to be offset. They're all pretty much centered, so it doesn't really matter which way you put these guys in. They're going to be the same either way.
I'm going to show you how to mount the rat ogre or a larger model onto the base. And you can see that this is the guy, and he has two pegs that he will attach to the base with, as opposed to the clan rats that have the bar that runs through them that fits onto the slot. The larger models come just with the flat base like this. And I've already done one to show you. You have to flip it over, and it has these little holes or slots for holes, and you just choose where you want to put his foot, and you take a file or something, but you just want to keep pushing until it goes through, and then you take the file and kind of smooth the edges and make sure that fit into the hole that you've created. Okay, so I'm going to show you. So you just press the hole and then press down, and then you can kind of twist him and turn him so that you can get him positioned to the place that you want him on the base before you place the other hole on. Right? So you can see you can move him, and you have a few options. Okay, so I'm going to put him right here. I'm going to use this third hole back on the left side. Okay, so now I'm going to take him off so I don't accidentally break him or anything. Okay, and I'm going to show you how to do this. So place your file, and then you just want to hold it and just twist. And it takes a little bit, but you can kind of see it starting to come through. I'm just going to get a paper towel so I can grip it a little bit better. Okay, and then you just want to twist, 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 twist until that comes through. And then I just like to swivel this to widen the hole. And you just want to widen the hole. You know, keep in mind you don't want to make it too wide, because then his foot will just be loose in there, and you'll have to put more glue to hold it. And you can see that you have your hole here. Now, what you need to do is you need to take a flat file and just kind of smooth this top part down. Okay, so just file it down till it's flat. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm going to paint my base anyway. If you were going to leave it unfinished, you know, you may want to be a little bit more careful with this, but I'm not really worried about scratching it too bad because I'm going to paint it. But okay, so I'm going to go through the other way and just widen that hole just a little bit. You kind of tilt your file just to widen that hole out. Okay. And you take your ogre or your model, whatever you're using. Press down. And there you go. One based rat ogre. Okay, so just for extra security on our models, we're going to place just a tiny runner of glue on the bottom of the slotted pieces. So you don't need very much, because this is just for extra security anyway. So just kind of run that along, and then you just want to let that dry. So let me show you on one of the smaller models. Okay, just a tiny little glue. And run it along. And that's really all you need. Okay, and then for the larger models, like the rat ogres, We have his foot here and here. You can hopefully see that gray slot in there. Okay, so I'm just going to place a little dot of glue into that well. And the second one on this side. And then I'm just going to let that dry. And that will secure the model firmly into the base.
As you can see here, once you start getting the bases put on these guys, they really start taking on a life of their own, looking like armies. So we're going to go ahead and cut the video for now. The next video that we show, probably several videos, will be painting the models. We encourage you guys to go ahead and leave feedback. If you have any tips or anything else that you want us to show or elaborate on, please let us know in the comments section. All right, see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye, guys.